So there are 13 golden rules of the logo design industry that are essential to know. Before you even think about designing your next logo, check out this list and see what you are missing out on. With the way the design industry is going, learning how to prototype is a no-brainer. Instead of putting flat files in front of your team, manager or client, imagine being able to hand them a prototype that's so good it feels like a real app or website. Now learn more about Framer later in today's video. So firstly, the dynamic application. We are in 2021 and gone were the days where a logo was a static design. These days, brands and companies are keen to have their logo also used in combination with motion graphics. So when you're designing a logo, keep in mind the dynamic application of your design. Is it going to translate well to a motion graphic medium? This is something you have to keep in mind. Next, logo appropriation. Yes, it's obvious that, as example, using symbols that will be offensive to a certain group of people is a bad idea for a logo. But going a little bit deeper than that, as designers, we need to make sure the logo is appropriate for the brand and also the target market in every single way. And it should just be appropriate to the brand's message. Golden rule number 3 is to make sure you send your client a questionnaire in the early stages of your project. Your questionnaire doesn't need to have reams and reams of questions. You just need the essentials, such as things like what makes your business different to your competitors, who are you here for, and what do you offer your customers, and of course so on. There are a few questions like this that you should have in there. So it's vastly important to aim to design a logo that is different. The differences don't need to be hugely drastic, but the logo is the brand's face in their respective industry, and so it does need to stand out in a crowd of similar faces. Golden rule number 5 is that the logo shouldn't be too literal. An example here is a light bulb for an electrical company. The logo isn't here to show the audience what the brand does. That is a pretty common misconception. The logo is there to be memorable and to be a trigger of recognition within the consumer. Speaking of which, golden rule number 6 is that the logo should be memorable. This is one of the most important golden rules on this list today, and simplicity does breed recognition, and recognition means the brand will remain in the minds of the consumer, which then leads to more business and more profits for your clients. That is the reason for a logo. It's not there to be a nice pretty design that looks cool. It's just a mental trigger that should hook itself into the minds of the consumer. Logo design golden rule number 7 is to have a strict design process and to stick to it. So something along the lines of client interactions leading on to research and mood boarding, initial design concepts, initial designs, and then refinement to the final design solution. So yeah, work out your process and what works best for you, and then just stick to that process. Number 8 is to design the logo in black and white first. Sure, you have to have some ideas of colors that will be decided in the early stages of your research phases. But when it comes to designing the logo, always start in black and white first. This allows you to focus on the logo mark, shape and construction without any color bias. Golden rule number 9 is to remind yourself that the logo design is not a brand design. The logo is just one element of a brand identity. It's like one cog in a machine of many moving parts. The logo should work in harmony and consistency with the overall brand identity. If this fails to happen, the logo is going to create mass confusion within the target market, and the entire identity won't function anymore. Rule number 10 is to get a second opinion. Now this is so important because we can often get so sucked into our designs and the process that we give feelings and emotion to our creations that can become attachments. Somebody else can see the design objectively and for what it actually is, which after 50 hours of looking at something is pretty difficult to do as a designer. But if you don't have someone to ask their opinion of, you can always just leave your design for a day or two and then come back to it with a fresh new look. Number 11 relates to the interaction between logo type and also the logo mark. If your logo does have a logo mark, then it really should work in harmony with your text. There is no use having a playful and soft logo mark symbol coupled with a serious and rigid serif font. Both of the assets should work together and express the intended message. Golden rule number 12 is to remember the target market always. The target market should be established in your research phases, and this is the main group of people who are going to view your design, and so you need to tailor that design to them specifically. Every decision you make should have them in mind. So when you're thinking about typography choices, color choices, layout, and so on, these should all appeal to that selective group of people. And finally, golden rule number 13 is, of course, make sure your logo is a vector. There is absolutely no excuse or good reason as to why your logo should be a raster file. Vectors scale up and down literally to any size and they still retain their quality. The sponsor of today's video, Framer, is a no-code, free-to-use tool making it easy for anyone to become a prototyper. Now, their mission is to help you get closer for real. Create your own smart components complete with multiple states without any code, as well as drop in pre-built components with the insert menu and make your own delightful custom animations 100% visually. So in just a couple of hours, you could have a new skill that helps you stand out from the crowd. Sign up to Framer for free at framer.com/Satori Graphics, and that link is down in the description box below. If you want to learn more about logo designing, do click a video on screen, and until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.